and go visit those other places, but maybe that's because, you know, I've just as you have experienced a Chicago winter. I know how brutal it can be, and it's nice to visit and come back home here.
Exactly. It's one thing if you're just hopping in a cab, it's another if you're trying to, sledge it to work through the snow and everything. But
exactly.
Yeah, it's a great place to live. There are impressive cars on the road and impressive houses. And your kids might be invited to a party that, a birthday party that will just, blow anything you can do out of the water. And you might run into somebody that has 3 nannies, and you're juggling working full time, and you have a babysitter that may or may not show up, But every place has its quirks, and we're just fortunate that these are our quirks. They're not bad quirks.
No, they're minor quirks compared to what we would have in cities and everything. I mean, I think we're really, really fortunate. But yeah, I know you're a working mom just like I am, and it is a juggle. I mean, but you guys seem to do an amazing job here. It's beautiful. I don't know how you do it during season. I know you'll be a blur going by in your white car. I'll see you in and out of preschool for 5 months. But yeah, it's definitely crazy for you guys.
Naples is still seasonal. November to May is the dry season. We don't have 4 seasons. We have dry and hurricane, or tourist and hurricane.
Right.
So our winter season, November to May, dry season, that's really when, for me and a lot of other business people, we're really busy because we have, our clients are here, and this is when we have to work. But the benefit of that is it's almost like being a school teacher where you then have the summers off, and we can travel, we can spend more time with our families, and for us personally, that's when we go and see our artists up north and see museums and clients up north. And that's the way it's been. Actually, my whole life, we would leave every summer. Naples would practically close down. It's not that way anymore. Businesses stay open. You're around now. But historically, people would practically put up a gone fishing sign in August. We do have a hurricane season. I do advise people to leave.
If there's a hurricane coming.
I'll tell you, if there's a hurricane coming, it's best to leave, because it's not the hurricane, and especially with the way buildings are built here in our codes, with impact windows and with the concrete block, your property is going to be okay. But what happens is the power goes out, and the water goes out, and 2 weeks later you still don't have power. It's not an ideal situation. So that's why I advise people to leave. It just makes it easier on everyone else too, for the emergency services too.
I know. I was thinking about that as well, because I was thinking, Michael just recently hit the Panhandle, and I've heard so many people saying, "Oh, well, we're going to stay and we're going to hunker down," and I often think that really is a stress on the emergency services. So we were both fortunate. We left for Irma. I think we were both gone for 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, it was a long time, but with toddlers, and we were fortunate we could leave. We weren't tied to something that we had to stay.
Right, our business or our livelihood wasn't. Our jobs weren't tied to being here, like a doctor.
And so I feel like we were very fortunate. But I remember getting texts from moms and stuff that did stay, and they were like, "Be thankful you're gone right now." And we were fortunate. But I remember thinking too at the time, Kristine grew up here. If she's leaving, I'm definitely leaving.
I mean, I've ridden through hurricanes. I was here for Andrew when I was a kid. We did board up, but I do. It's not worth it for the time that you're here after, when there's no power for so long. And now that our county has expanded so much, it's just more pressure on the system to get back up and running. So if you can leave, I would leave. But other than hurricane season, which isn't going to be a huge impact on anyone, it's a great place to live.
It is.
And everywhere has something.
I know. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, if we lived in Illinois still, we'd have tornadoes. If we lived,
and ice storms and earthquakes and
so every place has a little something. We weren't spared.
But hurricanes you can prepare for.
I know, which I'm so thankful for.
It does make a big difference.
Yeah, we get plenty of notice typically. I mean, unless I was laying in bed thinking the other night, is Michael going to turn our way?
Yeah.
But thankfully it didn't. I mean, we were very fortunate as, knock on wood, hopefully we continue to be. But thank you so much for doing this interview with me.
Sure.
It's awesome. You know, you're one of my closest friends in Naples.
Oh,
So it really was a pleasure. You know, when I first moved here, the reason I wanted to do this video series was because when I first moved here, it seemed like everyone was from someplace else. And then I started meeting people who actually grew up here, and I was like, wow, that's really interesting. I want to hear what it was like, you know, because it's, like you said, when your parents lived here, there were only 5,000 people at one time. So, and now we keep growing immensely and fast. But so it's really great to hear the stories, and I know I've even seen pictures that you've posted online of, like, you know, what it was like then to what it's like now, and it's just amazing. It really is. But you know, I love your gallery. I encourage people to come visit, and you know.
Yeah, I mean, this is a town where it's easy to get involved in a lot of things. And so anyone moving here, I definitely encourage them to find something that they're interested in and seek out a nonprofit that goes along with that, because I'm sure they'll actually be impressed with all the good that they do. I mean, it's amazing how many of these organizations run on volunteers, and how much they get from donors as opposed through government taxes and things. So this is a community where you can meet a lot of great people and do a lot of good. And it is also a community where people entertain in their homes and have art collections.
Right.
It's interesting to me how many people tell me that they never even collected art when they lived in Chicago and other places, but now that they live in Naples, they feel like they almost have to. You know? So
you know, that's a good point. Like, it definitely, the art scene is in some ways greater here than what it was, and it's different. Maybe it's because we're a smaller town and we know more.
Well, I think it's more accessible.
It is.
You don't have to be an art person or artsy or anything else you want to call yourself to go to one of the galleries and get to know an artist or get to know an art dealer. And that's what it's all about, is the relationships. And then you make other friends at the openings that are other collectors, and then that's how it happens, really.
Nice.
The bug bites you.
The bug bites you. I love it. Well, thank you again so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.